Surprising, right? Yeah, James Harden not having a great season. I didn't know this because I don't watch Clippers games because they're blacked out here. Can't watch them. Can't watch any Clippers games, even though I really do want to. I'm more curious about this team than I was even last year when they had Paul George. Because what are they trying to do? I got a notification today. It wasn't a Twitter NBA Centel. It was an article that said that the Pistons wanted to trade for Kawhi in a package that included, I don't think they said. I thought it was interesting though. It was just a notification. I get weird notifications on my phone because I have a Droid, and if you buy them from a weird shady source, they come with apps that give you news articles. I don't know if this is true. I didn't look up. I think I didn't look it up. But did you guys hear that? Anyway, this team is very interesting to me, and I haven't watched any games, but apparently James Harden is not playing very well. How do I know that? He has one of the highest turnover. I believe he leads the league in turnovers per game. So he's at 4.8 turnovers per game, which is 3 times the league average for a point guard, because he's playing point guard now. Granted, point guards are always going to get more turnovers, but dude, James Harden is he's just flinging that thing around. Very flippant with the basketball. His three-point percentage is not good, 31.4%. That is not a good three-point percentage. I'd say if 35 is fine. 35, no one's going to shake a stick at it, But his is really bad. I believe it's an all-time bad three-point percentage for James Harden. Does he not care? Is he apathetic? Is he happy to have his own team? This team isn't even bad. His net rating is negative 2.8. Not net rating, plus minus. There's a difference. There's not much of a difference, but there's a difference. So when he is on the court, the Clippers are scoring less than, when he's off the court. So, or the other team is scoring more, if that makes sense. He's a liability. Significantly worse than last year, but still, he is an above average NBA player. Because his PER is above. If you believe in PER, player efficiency rating, which I kind of do, I don't think it's the ultimate stat to tell whether a guy's good or not, but I think there's something to it. These player impact estimate, PER, I think there's something to it. So he's still good in that sense. And I think what those stats factor in is if you are getting points, because he is getting 20 points a game. That's hard to do in the NBA. That you have to have some level of skill. So is he efficient? Absolutely not. He's not efficient at all. But he is still good. Because you can be so efficient that you don't even shoot the ball. You can say, I want to be efficient. I want to have a great free throw percentage. I want to be in the 50-40-90 club. Then you just don't shoot the ball. You need some chuckers. You need chuckers on your team. James Harden is not having a great season. But granted, he's not having a great season for James Harden. And if you look at certain stats, he's not having a good season as an NBA player at all. Is there anything else I wanted to say about him? Field goal percentage. 37.1? That's really bad. Most guys have better three-point percentages. Most starting players have better. What's he doing? Is he missing those floaters? Tell me. I haven't watched a Clippers game all season because I can't watch any of them. Sometimes even the ones that are on the Max app through Bleacher Report are still blacked out for me. So, riddle me that. Let's move on. Number 9, Jalen Suggs is not having a great season, and my theory is because Banchero is now injured, and a lot of the scoring load is on him. He's not a great 3 and D player. I think he's still good on D. He still has, he has about as many steals as Harden, which is kind of not something Harden has ever been particularly good at. But his 3-point shooting percentage is 30.5. He is a 3 and D guy. He was known to be able to put down buckets, and he's good at that. But at this point in the season, it is not his bread and butter. He's been really bad. His field goal percentage is 41. Not as bad as Harden, granted. So Suggs is better than Harden. What's his points per game? 15.1. All right, so which I believe that is more than he was scoring last year. So that's what it is. They need him to score more. There's another Orlando Magic player on this list too. But they need these players to score more now that Banchero's out. So I think that they're not getting the same looks that they were getting. They're getting tougher looks because they're guarded more. There's not that Banchero drawing the pressure over to him, and they got an open three. Catch and shoot. Ba-bing. Cha-ching. No, it's not happening. That's my theory on this. Because I do watch a lot of Orlando Magic games. He's kind of high on the turnovers too. The defensive rating, though, is the best in his career. His saving grace is his defensive ability. Because if you look at his counting stats, free throw percentage, I just looked down at his free throw percentage. Damn, 92.5. And you know what? I'm a sucker for a solid free throw percentage. So, you know what? Maybe we're done. Maybe we're done talking about him because I feel bad because the boy's been practicing his free throws. I'm not going to call, it's condescending to call someone a boy. It's got connotations. Deni Avdija. So the Blazers traded for Deni Avdija because he had his best season of his career in Washington last year. He was hot during trade times, during free agency. People wanted him. I think they picked him up even before the draft. Am I right? That trade happened even before the draft. They were like, we want some Deni Avdija. But wasn't a good idea because he's not. What isn't a good Avdija because he's not playing very well. His PER is 11.7. Remember this. Player efficiency rating. I already talked about it. But an average player in the league, which would be a starter in the league, the average starter, the most baseline, he's a starter, but actually this would be a six man. The most average six man in the league is 15. Okay? It's the same every year. If I've explained it once, I've explained it 200 times. The most average player in the league is 15. PER. If you took all the players, all their PERs, can you hear my stomach growling? Someone said that in one of the videos. They heard my stomach growling. I haven't eaten yet. If you take all the PERs of all the players and you divide it by 450, that's the total amount of players in the NBA, it's going to be 15. So Deni Avdija is not an average NBA player. He is below average this year. And last year he was 14.9. He was an average player and he was on a bad team, which is going to drag it down. Okay, so he was exceptional on a bad team, on the Wizards. So he was really hot stuff. So I don't think Portland has figured it out with Deni. He's lost his confidence because 37.4 was his three-point shooting percentage last year. Dude, it's 23.3 this year. He cannot buy a bucket. He can't. He's less assists than last year. His field goal percentage is 34.6. Remember? That's not good. I should have a little scale behind me. I need to organize my slide a little bit better because it would be nice if you had a frame of reference of what a good field goal percentage is. So let's say above 40. If you're above, you gotta be above 40. 40 is the bare minimum of you should be at 40% from field goal range. Unless you're taking crazy long twos and you're known for taking crazy long twos. Either way, you shouldn't be taking crazy long twos if your field goal percentage is going to be 40%. And Deni's is at 37%. He's getting less minutes now. He does have more blocks, more steals, and a better free throw percentage. So I gotta say something nice. This is the most negative video you probably watched all week. So I have to say something nice about all these guys. Less minutes though. Portland's not bad. What, they beat the Timberwolves twice? Back them? Dude. And the Timberwolves just beat the Suns today. Today is Sunday. I'm not recording in the morning on Monday, even though this gets released on a Monday. Okay, Donte DiVincenzo. Oh, man. It worked with the Knicks. I think I was listening to Off Guard, the podcast, with Austin Rivers, and Paja. I forget his co-host name. I like those guys. I actually really like Austin Rivers. I think he's a great podcast host. I think he's one of the best player podcast hosts in my opinion. He's one, or I shouldn't say best. He's one of my favorites. I like the way he talks. I like the way he analyzes the game, and he talks shit. It's nice to hear someone really express themselves, and he's not mean. He just says how he feels. Check out Off Guard, the podcast. No sponsorship. There ain't no sponsorships. I just think you'd enjoy it. But it hasn't worked out so much because last year Donte DiVincenzo was shooting, or he was making 15.5 points per game. This season, 9.4. Things are not so great for Donte. 3-point percentage, shooting isn't there. It's -5 below the league average for a shooting guard like Donte. He's shooting 32.3%. That's below average, especially if you're Donte DiVincenzo and your calling card is your catch and shoot three-pointers, and that's what you do. It needs to be better. My whole point about talking about Off Guard was the fact that Austin Rivers kind of blames Julius Randle because Julius Randle shoots more and he hogs the ball more. It kind of worked with Karl Anthony Towns, is what he said, even though I know Karl Anthony Towns is also a chucker. So, but he's right. It's not working right now at the moment. They still got to get that figured out. Even though, oh, I'm all messed up. I'm so sorry. I'm so confused. Last year, it worked better when he was a Knick. When he was playing with, he was still playing with Julius Randle, but he was playing with Brunson, and he did more catch and shoot threes. It didn't add up in my head because I thought about it, and I'm like, the math doesn't add up. I have completely lost track of who got traded last year and who was on what team last year. Am I experiencing early onset dementia? Scary stuff. But it's not working like when he was with the Nova Knicks, unfortunately. So he shot 40% from 3 last year on more attempts. So it's down about 8%. But again, it's still earlier in the season. He has lower usage too, probably due to the worse shooting. He's getting less minutes. So, you know, but he has solid defensive rating and he has solid steals. So in the same vein as Jalen Suggs and another player we're going to talk about, still providing value. And we love him. We love the guy. I do. Let's move on. Man, Keonte George. Keonte George at first was number 1 on this list when I was making it, and I ended up moving him down to 6 because he still has pretty good stats, but the reason I had him at number 1 as the least efficient player is he has the worst plus minus in the league. He is not a great defender, and his defensive rating is one of the high, because it's kind of hard to analyze defensive rating. I can't say he is the highest defensive rating in the league. Defensive rating, having a high defensive rating is bad, by the way. That means the other team is scoring lots of points when you're out on the court, which is true of Keonte George. So it's really high, and I can't really compare it and say he's the worst because there are guys that played 1 minute and have terrible defensive ratings just because of what happened in that 1 minute. But trust me when I say his is bad. And it's not entirely his fault because Utah Jazz have got a lot of players on their team that aren't very good at defense. The redemption for Keonte George is he is getting points. He is getting stats too. So 5.7 assists, that's above the league average. 2.7. Keonte George is not tall. So he is providing value out there. But I am a little bit concerned. Also, his shooting percentages aren't terrible. 32, like I think that 35, they are terrible. I lied. They are terrible, but here's my concern. I think with a team like the Jazz, where there's no concern that they should win. There's no concern that they should be a good team. They lose games and they're kind of tanking for Cooper Flag. And I believe this builds bad habits with players that are on teams like this because they don't need to win. I've worked at a lot of companies that didn't need to make money necessarily, but they needed to be able to theoretically make money in the future. Do you know what all those companies have in common? They all failed. They never ended up making money. So I think when these teams have these young cores that they're really excited about, they're exciting, but they never learn how to win. They never need to win, so they get 4 years into the league and they don't have that killer instinct because they've sort of been praised on their potential that never came to fruition. So that's my concern about Keonte George. Do I have anything else? I mean, he turns the ball over a lot too. Kelly Oubre is not good. He looks good. He's handsome. He looks good out on the court. He plays with confidence, but the guy isn't good. His shooting percentage, 40%. Again, it's low. It's passable. 40%, like I said, 40.9%. We'll let it slide. His three-point percentage is 26.8. He can't shoot. It is not working. He's shooting 4.7 a game, and they are not going in. Again, this is another guy who is being asked to do a lot more on offense than he was last year, or he has since he was good. Okay, since he was actually a decent player on the Wizards or on the Suns. He's a decent player, or he was a good player. Now he's a guy you pick up on a league minimum contract now. So he's being asked to do too much. The Sixers are bad. They're really bad, and I'm loving it. I don't like the Sixers. I don't know why, but this is how toxic I am. I end up watching Sixers games to watch them lose. It's really bad. I get excited for Sixers games. I'm like, oh, Sixers games, it's on League Pass. It's not on TNT. Of course it's not on TNT. It's not on ESPN. Ain't nobody trying to watch the Sixers. So I end up watching it, and I watch them lose. Not a Paul George fan, not a Joel Embiid fan. I am a Maxey fan, but he's not playing. He seems happy on the bench. That's been kind of weird for me. He seems sort of like giddy on the bench in street clothes, which I would have assumed he would have been a guy that would have been, when the team was losing, he would have been upset, sad, emotionally invested. He's not. So, Alex Sarr, not playing very well. But he's a rookie, so I think I'll let it slide. I think it's fine that he's a rookie. So, man, it's not good. Okay, 5th in blocks. Again, I got to say nice things about these people. 5th in blocks, getting some points, assists, and rebounds. He's a rookie, and he is playing basketball. He is penciling in stuff on the stat sheet. And that's great. He's not injured. He's not injured for the entire season. His free throw percentage isn't trash either, which I feel like big rookies sort of end up having terrible free throw percentages. His is 71%. It's not great, but it's not trash. And I could see it being trash for a guy like him. He's putting up threes, and he's shooting 21%. Don't stop this man from shooting. 36.5 from field goal range, and he's a center. Unacceptable. He's a center. He should be getting like little dink and dunkers by the bottom, in the dunker spot. He's not getting them. His field goal percentage is probably half of what an exceptional center's field goal percentage should be. Again, he's a rookie, so I take it with a grain of salt. He's just out there getting reps, really. Net rating is scary bad, dude. Negative 9.2. Oubre's is pretty bad too. It's negative 9.2. When he's on the floor, the other team is scoring, and the Washington Wizards are not scoring. So somebody's got to stop him. But his PER isn't bad. Interestingly enough, his efficiency isn't as bad as his stats would make you think. Dude, I'm still thinking about how I forgot. I didn't realize that Randall and DiVincenzo got traded together until it came back into my mind. I'm thinking about it now that I should go back and edit it out. That's how my brain has not left that thought. I keep talking, but all I'm thinking about is how bad I fucked that up. Scoot Henderson. So, Scoot Henderson, still not good. I was such a Scoot Henderson believer. I couldn't believe they chose Brandon Miller over Scoot Henderson. I just watched Hornets Cavs, and Brandon Miller is awesome. He looks good out there. He's also stronger. I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, who is that guy? Like, dang, that guy's, man, he's like big and he's talented. I was like, oh, it's Brandon Miller, right? I forgot he ended up being really good. And Scoot Henderson is kind of, and I hate to say this again, sophomore year, he's not good. And I think the Blazers are favoring Delano Banton as their sixth man over Scoot, because Scoot has only started one game. It's not a good sign. It feels a little bit we're at the very beginning of him getting phased out. Turnovers are still pretty high. Again, the three-point percentage. You look at these three-point percentages. Look at these field goal percentages. He ain't got the juice, man. Negative 6.9. When he's on the court, it's just, Drano max, right? For the other team. I'm a little concerned. But do I really care about the Blazers? Do I really care about Scoot Henderson? Not really. I don't really care. Someone's got to be bad. Someone has to be bad. Not every team and every player can be good. And I'm okay with it being second worst offensive rating in the league. That deserves to be mentioned. Not a scorer and not a facilitator at this point in his career. KCP. Man, everyone was so upset when Denver didn't pony up the money to re-sign him. Wow. And he is not doing well. He has the worst PER in the league. He is the least efficient player in the league if you believe in player efficiency rating at 7.6. You could put 2 KCPs on the floor and he would not equal an average NBA player. It's early. It's early. And his field goal percentage, 33% abysmal. 23.4 from the three-point line. Terrible. He is not shooting well at all. He is like Suggs, though, because his defensive rating is still above average, and he is getting steals. Their assists and rebounds are down. The usage is all-time low. I think I can chalk it up to they need to figure out what they're going to do without Paolo. They need to figure out where KCP fits in. He is starting. So I'm not saying it's way too early to say this was a bad idea, because it was a good idea. If he's available and you need a 3-and-D player, you need a wing. People love wings. They do. So you're going to do it. You're going to pick up KCP if he's available. We'll see if this turns around. He just needs to shoot better. I mean, he drills a couple threes, changes that three-point percentage, gets it up into the 30%. Now we're talking. Yeah, KCP, my man. Contavious. Dude, I hate to do it to a rookie, but the stats spoke for themselves. Okay? They just did. I couldn't ignore it. He's not good. He's a rookie. Is a rookie supposed to come in and be an MVP? No. But I don't even want to say he's not good. Because he's getting 11.6 points a game. He's getting 1.3 rebound assists. I would hope for a little more. 3.8 rebounds. He's a rookie, man. I think I heard Chris Vernon say that he's playing like a number 1 pick. Someone said that. And now that I'm looking at his stats, I'm like, is he? Is that really what we expect from a number 1 pick? But his plus minus is negative 4.3, and the Atlanta Hawks aren't bad. So he is a bit of a detriment to his team. If the Hawks want to be good, I could see them trading him, which would be really interesting. But I don't think the Hawks, again, that's a team where who knows really what they're doing. The Dyson Daniels pickup was huge for them in getting rid of DeJounte Murray. Good. They were like good things that happened when they didn't necessarily want to be good, right? When you make a trade and it's sort of an investment trade and it's immediately good, you're kind of like, damn, that kind of sucks that it's good. Because they're going to get to the trade deadline, they're going to be like the 6th seed in the East with like below 500, and they're going to think, what do we do? We're not going to tank. We're in the playoffs. So he can't shoot threes and he can't shoot twos. Can't shoot, man. Those are the only things. Well, free throw percentage. Free throw percentage. Can't shoot ones. Can't shoot threes. Can't shoot twos. And he can't shoot ones. And he has the worst offensive rating in the entire league. Below average turnovers per game. Decent points for a rookie. There are redeeming things about him. So he's not bad. And he's not having a terrible season, honestly. But if you were to just say, hey, this is an average player in the league, you'd say, man, this is rough. But if you look at him as a guy that's on a very cheap rookie contract and is beginning his first season in the NBA, you say, there's potential. He just has to. A lot of the times we look at players and we say, are they good or not? It's really a matter of their shooting percentage. So there can be minor tweaks that can turn a player into me just shitting on him for 30 minutes into a guy where we're all glazing him for 30 minutes next week when we talk about the most efficient players in the league. So keep that in mind. All right. Well, I really botched that about I might just re-record. I can't re-record. So, shit. Do we go back and do... I'm going to run this back. I'm going to run it back. No, I'm not. Be good to your mothers. Eat a corn dog.